always gotta do
The jazz hands?
the jazz hands. Hi, welcome back to StoryHive On Location Penticton. I'm Robb and we're on location live in Penticton with Mike Nash from Kiss My Glass and Masterpieces.
Yeah.
And we're live with another episode brought to you with support by TELUS STORYHIve. How are you doing, my friend?
Doing awesome, man.
It's good
awesome.
to see you again.
Thanks for coming back. Have fun.
I'm excited. Since we were last talking, you've actually had some artwork put in to the Lear House and some other things, and it's amazing to see the progress in a couple months.
Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, I have one of my thrones. I call it the Dragon of Doom throne. It's set up down there, and I think that one of the really fun things about, well, first of all, no one's ever seen a medieval throne made of stained glass, but it's fully open for people to sit on, take pictures on, jump around on. Kids can play on it. It's built to last. So it's pretty fun, I think, for them to be able to have something they can offer anyone coming in for pictures and stuff. So that's a lot of fun for me.
That is wicked to see, and it's kind of a nice thing to see the progress, because now today's episode we actually get to watch Mike do his magic. So I'm excited. We've got a special way, so I'm going to be grabbing the camera, and he's going to be leading us through what he does, and we're going to check out some of his pieces and go from there, and we'll be chit-chatting the entire time while we do it. So we'll dive right into it, and we'll let you guide us through this amazing process.
So I figure we're going to start with a little spider love bug. I'm making these love bugs in honor of my dog that we lost a couple months ago. His name was Herbie the Love Bug, and so I've decided to build these little love bugs and spread them around. And this one is actually supposed to be a secret for a Christmas present, but I'm not worried by the time Christmas rolls around. And then this one is somebody looking for one, but I have been given them just as doing a hide and seek, which is a lot of fun for me. Just make them go and hide somewhere, put a little hint on social media where I'm hiding, and the first person to come and find me and tell me to kiss their glass goes home with a little love bug. So I've done a few of them, and I'm donating 2 on November 1st. They're going to be silent auctioned away at an SPCA auction happening here in town.
That's awesome.
So that's super cool that I can help make a few extra bucks for the local SPCA. So here I'm doing a flux. I've copper foiled the glass already, which is the worst part of this whole project. It takes so long. Every individual piece needs to be wrapped in this copper foil tape, because solder won't adhere to glass. It needs some form of metal to adhere to. So with copper foiled it, now I've just fluxed it. I don't want that on there. Sorry, I've been pounding through some glass. My workspace is a bit of a mess.
It's kind of a cool process. So you start off with a image.
Yeah.
And then you cut your individual pieces. Like, is that
so
glass right there, right?
Yeah, you betcha. That's one I'm working on. I'll go over that project.
That's so cool.
That's a super fun project. But sometimes just making a pattern can take days of scratch it out, try again, scratch it out, try again, get the pattern right. I find one image I like, I work with it, I'll add to it, I'll take away, I'll do what I need to make it what I need. And this image, for instance, was a beaded necklace that I found an image of, and I really liked the necklace, the way it looks. So I thought, I could probably make a glass pattern out of that image. And so I got to make my own. You always want to make sure when you're soldering this, you got your soldering iron tip nice and clean. So I just use a wet sponge. Get any of that old schmeg off of there.
I love that that's actually the term too.
Yeah, isn't it? It just doesn't sound like it should
schmeg.
be. Obviously, a lot of safety needs to be taken. Don't touch the hot end. I can't remember exactly what that temp is, but it'll leave a scar in a hurry. And so all I'm gonna do at first is just do what we call a tinning to get all my pieces together. Now, especially with these love bugs, they all go into a wooden frame that's the exact size. So I need to make sure that as I'm building it, it's made to the exact size to fit the frame.
Okay.
Inevitably, a piece of glass with lots of little bits in it wants to expand as you foil it, obviously, because although it's very thin, each one of those lines adds a little bit. So if it's going into an already made frame, it's really crucial that we get that the right size right from the get-go, because once this is done, it's not that easy to make it smaller.
Yeah, I can imagine. Kind of a one-go,
Yeah, one thing I got a
one-trick
lot
pony.
better at over the years is fixing breaks and cracks. You know, sometimes you get a heat crack, or someone will reach out and say, hey, I got this piece that's been in my family for 40 years and it's broken. Can you help fix it? I love doing that stuff, and it's risky. There's always a chance of doing more damage, but I've got a great track record, and it's really rewarding to be able to bring back something that otherwise would have just been sitting in a garage somewhere, broken or whatever.
Yeah. I know that's kind of the one thing you were mentioning too when we were talking and setting up today's interview, was that you're doing refurbished pieces too, which is...
Yeah, I really enjoy that. Anybody who's local, who's ever gone to the local shop, Bling Automotive, had them do some work for me, and the service was great. So I noticed that their front entrance to their showroom had a broken old panel door that looked really rough and was broken in a few spots. So I just said, hey, I appreciate you guys. Let me take that door home for a few days, and I recreated it with their logo. It was a couple hundred pieces of stained glass to put together, and really made a wicked door for them.
That's awesome.
I had no idea, what it was going to turn into. It just, if I'm going to do it, I'm gonna do it right and do it my way, not the easy way. So a nice little bit of legacy to leave in their store, and every time you walk into that stop, there's a piece of me right there.
That's such an awesome feeling.
Blinging the place up, you can see.
Right.
So this thing is probably about 10 to 12 hours of work at least to get to this point. And it's nice when you can get the solder together on it, and it really doesn't take very long. Soldering's a really rather quick process to put it all together. And I know who this is for. This is a special gift for one of my big fans' young daughter. I did a mushroom hunt where I gave away 19 wicked mushrooms back in June, and people had to go hunt a game of shrooms, it's called, if you're interested in checking that out. It's an international game of shrooms. And this lady reached out to me and said her and her daughters had tried so hard to find them, and they were devastated, couldn't wait till next year. And I'm a softie, so my wife and I whipped up a couple of special little ones and went and hid them in their yard for them. And now she's reached out wanting one of these in honor of my dog for her daughter for a Christmas gift. And I just thought it was pretty, I think it's a 9-year-old. I thought it's pretty cool that she loves black widows and spiders. So
Right.
I'll make her one. But in honor of my hound, all of these little love bugs are made specifically for my beautiful dog. And that's just a tin layer. So I'm going to go back over the whole thing and smooth that all out. Give it a little more flux. Go around the outer edge too. Not the most exciting, but usually I got tunes pounding and they get lost in my work.
Right. It looks so cool.
The last one of these that I had made, and usually I'll never make the same thing twice, and this one is different than the last one. And I'll never make the exact same thing twice in my life. I made these lines black. Afterwards, we can take a special chemical to it. It's an acid, and it patinas it into a black finish.
That's wicked.
And I usually like the black, something like this. It really helps set off the contrasts and the colors. Almost like a picture frame or a TV frame even. They're always black for a reason. But when I set this one off black, I was like, oh man, that silver looked so much better. So, and then if you want to go back to silver from patina, that's a real pain. You have to resolder the whole thing pretty much.
Oh, wow, eh?
So that one will stay black, and that's one of the ones I'm donating this Saturday. It'll be good and auctioned off.
Where are they getting auctioned off
Well,
again?
that's going to be at the Copper Mug Pub here in Penticton, and on Saturday I think it's limited tickets only because they're limited for space, but they have quite a big fundraiser event coming up.
That's wicked.
Someone who follows me on Instagram, recognized how much I love animals, I think, and so she reached out first with a heartfelt condolence about losing our dog, and then kind of playing on my sympathies, mentioned that she would love some kind of a donation, and she loved these little bugs that I was doing. So that's a perfect excuse to make a couple. I'm never gonna do just one. so I got to surprise her with two wicked ones. I made a real neat bumblebee.
That's awesome.
They all have the little red heart in them, obviously, is the little trademark. So yeah, Saturday on November 1st, I'm just going to go hide in a park or on the beach or something. Wait till someone finds me and tells me to kiss their glass. And they can go home. I have a really cute moth made up that I'm going to give. And I might even have something special if they bring a dog with them for me to play with.
That's awesome.
So I did a few of them, and the last one was really exciting to give too, because the person that found me had actually just lost everything in an apartment fire, and literally living in a hotel room with the wife and kid and nothing to look forward to, and happened to follow me and find me. Got to take home a pretty cool bug. So
that's awesome.
Pretty nice to be able to put a smile on someone's face like that.
Right. I think that's the whole point of being an artist too.
Yeah, man. My aunt, she's a really amazing fine line artist and has been her whole life. And she's mentioned how she doesn't give any of her artwork away because if you give it to somebody, it'll inevitably end up being wrapping paper for their fish and chips. Like news wrap in the old days for fish and chips. And she equates to, they just don't appreciate it if you give it. But I find I appreciate it more than anything. Seeing the joy. I give a lot of glass away. I've given away chessboards that are worth thousands of dollars to a follower in a random draw.
That's awesome.
It just, one thing is I have no room. If I want to make something else, I need to make some space. But, I just really enjoy it. And inevitably, when I give something away, it tends to come back in some form of, maybe not with payment, but, like a friend will reach out and say, hey, I saw this thing you did, and we haven't talked in 20 years, but I got an idea, and it'll turn into reconnecting with a friend. And it's happened more than once. I'm going to see one tomorrow who was friends in high school I haven't seen in 25 years. A piece of glass turned into a rekindled lifelong friendship, man.
That's awesome.
So that's the best part of it all, really, isn't it?
Yeah, connections is, I've really realized that I think it's the most important thing to me when I'm on stage is that connection with an individual person in the crowd. And I can understand that being the same kind of connection as someone who falls in love with your work or
take you, for instance. Meeting you and having an interview with you led to me meeting Scotty P. And there's already 3 friendships that would have never happened if it wasn't for a simple Facebook post or reach out, whatever.
Yeah, it's funny. I met Scotty through my drummer, actually. They went to school together, I think. Or they worked together, and that's how I met him and did our first interview.
Now it turns out pretty much everybody I know in town knows Scotty P, and it's just a real rare thing that I didn't.
Right. Pardon me. A lot of the creatives here are very, they tend to know each other, but it's hard to get out.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. That's why I love seeing that your stuff is getting out there.
And I'm relatively new to town. Don't have a friend base because I spend most of my life on this chair in this room. But, it's nice to make some people with like minds to share ideas, throw things off of. And he actually reached out mentioning these tanks that he makes, his propane tank, his Jacka tank, or whatever he calls them.
Yeah, I want to say there. the tank of lanterns.
Tank of lanterns,
Like
yeah,
that.
those
So
things
cool.
are so cool, man. So he reached out and said he was inspired through my love bug giveaway, and he's thinking about doing the same thing and wanted to know if I was okay with him borrowing my idea.
That's wicked.
Of course, it's not really my idea. I borrowed the idea myself. And anybody that wants to give something to somebody, just because it feels good to do good, you know?
Yeah.
That's what I love. Anyway, still have to do the backside, which I won't bore you with.
That's so cool.
But there we go.
Slow zoom out. There we go. That is so cool.
Simple.
And you can see that there's tons of pieces that he's got on the go, too.
Yeah, no shortage of work. So I'm just going to turn it off and go back to it later.
I love this bee.
Yeah, he's cool. So it's a special order. Their design, they'll be fine with it being on here. And they, a woman reached out. It's for her boss. She loves her boss so much that she's getting a special Christmas love bug made for the boss. And so that's a lot of fun.
That is a really cool
Now
one.
this one, this is a legacy piece I'm building for my mom. So we've had a lot of death in our family this year. And
I'm sorry to hear that.
Thank you. Right at the start of the year, everybody was excited for things to come, and then we lost my stepdad and my real dad within a couple weeks. And so my mom's kind of, she was living in a town without a lot of support or anything. It was a few hours away, so I couldn't get there to be with her as much as I needed to. And finally she decided enough's enough, and if I couldn't be there, she was going to come here. So we moved her in a couple doors down, which is amazing. We're having a lot of fun, and I'm a way better crib player than her. And, so that's cool. But, my whole life growing up as a kid, we had a pouting chair at home, and I guess it would equate to timeouts of today. And so it was always, Michael, go to your pouting chair and figure it out. And so I'd have to go and sit in the chair and I'd get to play for half an hour while I figured it out,
That's so funny.
When she moved here, we went to the flea market and found this antique. It's actually a Victorian, like from the late 1700s, we figured. And she insisted I buy it and that I'd be able to do something cool with it. So, it's taken me a while, but I decided to make her a pouting chair of her own. So she's had a rough year. She can just go pout whenever she wants. And I started pulling. It was really worn out. It was broken and it was beaten. It had been painted gold somewhere along the way by someone over the years. But the square nails, like little hand-forged nails, and the padding was all horsehair and straw. And this is original, but everything else was deteriorated so bad. So I ripped it all apart, stripped it apart. Had to build these rails for the seat because I think these are cool, but they're not strong. So I strengthened it with this, and I built my own little cushion for it. I did some trim work. Big problem for me was how I'm gonna fit that glass into that hole and finish it seamlessly as I can and still keep an old rustic look. So this is what we've come up with. Took a lot of thinking and effort and unmotivated days, and then finally get together the idea, okay, I can make it all work like that. Built this sweet little bumblebee cushion. Fits in there just nicely. And then this is gonna be our backrest.
Okay.
Don't worry, be happy is her favorite saying. The favorite is a Bobby McFerrin song from the 80s. It's gotten her through a lot of hard times. And so we've got the little banner that says pout here. The little arrow pointing at the seat that's going to go right in behind that little gap. And then that's going to be a backrest all done in that beautiful white iridescent. I don't really have a piece right there, right here. So it's going to be all done in this kind of opaline finish.
Oh, wow.
That swirly back with these oranges and yellows and greens.
Is that the same type of glass?
Yeah, exactly. Same as that. And,
okay.
And then this letters is, I wanted to give it like almost a cloudy sky feel with the iridescent blue swirly letters.
Mm-hmm.
And once that all comes together, it's going to be great. However, we can see that's just to do this flower is going to be
a lot of work.
30 pieces probably, and you consider each piece takes 5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So a lot of hours. These are a lot of pieces. Sometimes just to make a letter, one letter can take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You know, you're looking at 9 to 10 pieces of glass just to put that W in there. M's and W's, all the H's are always difficult.
Is it just across the amount of overlap?
Yeah, and every piece, you know, this has to fit perfectly. This has to fit perfectly, and then I'll get it together thinking it fits perfectly, and as you foil it, spreads everything.
No, I guess so.
Back to the grinder. Gotta make everything smaller again. Fit it in one at a time. Every piece is refit and refit as you go along.
This glass is stunning.
It's super beautiful stuff,
like the galaxy.
Yeah,
almost like you can. I'm trying to get a good zoom in where you can see like.
Here's the whole sheet that it came from.
Oh wow!
So once that's shining, now. The beauty of iridescent glass is that it's going to look totally different whether it's front lit or back lit.
So how much does a piece like that cost?
Right now we're looking at about $25 to $30 a square foot.
Wow.
So this is a little bigger than that. Would have been 2 feet when I first bought it.
It's so stunning. When you're buying pieces of glass and you're looking for them, do you shine them in the light?
Oh yeah, I'll spend hours in that store.
Because yours is usually backlit, hey?
Yeah, it really depends, and especially if I'm using blues and greens, it really changes everything.
There's a lot of different types of glass. There's so many I have never even seen before.
It's crazy with the stuff that's available, and tons of different. You know, I obviously keep it color coordinated, but I also have iridescence. Everything in this pack will have an iridescent sheen or a silver back.
And there was I remember you were telling me about a specific one that you used, and it's like a gold.
Yeah, like a Van Gogh. There's a bunch of different styles of Van Gogh. It's all hand painted.
Oh wow!
And you know, so it's gold here.
So that's glass.
Then we put it in the light, and it goes gray. So I can illuminate this with LEDs in behind.
Wow!
And make it shine that color. But front lit, we get that beautiful gold.
That is so cool.
So I use that a lot in some pieces that require a light shift. And there's tons of different. This one's fun. It's a purple, lavender, goes blue, purple, gray.
That's so cool.
And we can make that really fun to work with under artificial light.
I could see just collecting glass being an addiction.
It's tough. My wife has a hard time walking out of the glass store without spending any money. I can do it sometimes, but we'll generally pick out something just to have. And especially with Christmas coming, a lot of greens and reds, iridescence. They make the most beautiful candy canes to hang on your Christmas tree, you know. So that's kind of a fun thing too. I make gifts now instead of buying. Everybody gets something special to hang on a tree.
Right.
Pickles, Christmas pickles.
I have friends who love the pickle concept.
Yeah, the pickles are a huge hit.
That's one of my favorite pieces of yours.
Even Biggie needs a buddy. Here, let me turn the light down
Bigfoot.
here. We'll see. It gets way better if we turn some light off, and we can get some color behind it. I gotta redo the lights. Admittedly, these ones, I use a different set of lights on this, and it doesn't really quite get bright enough. But in the real dark, this is really awesome.
What I love is what you did with the frame.
Live edge salvage from the side of the road.
Just on the off the res?
Yeah, just out of that mill. They put it out on the
I love
the bin
that.
and help yourself.
I built a bunch of stuff with that.
You
It's
bet.
amazing.
It's beautiful wood and otherwise wasted and burned up. And that owl, we can zoom in on that owl a little bit. Over 60 pieces, I think 60 pieces to make that 1 3-inch owl. And you don't notice it because it's an opaque piece of glass, so light never gets through it. But when you look at it from the front, you really look, you can see how I've got most of the lines lining up for the... Just wanted to make sure I got that flowing feel of the wing and as many little pieces as I could. So for 3 inches, that's one of the hardest things I ever made.
I can't even imagine how long that took. I just love the light coming through the eyes.
And now, one thing I get slack from all the time is I like to do stuff like this. And to put this stress on a piece of glass is really risky.
The rounded aspect?
Yeah, anytime you cut into it like that, you're really kind of asking for trouble in the long run, they say. But I'm batting 99%, really. I don't have a lot of troubles, and I get really rowdy. And it allows me to do some crazy stuff that other people say I shouldn't.
Once you actually get to look at it up close and you realize how much is actually put in there.
This is my first time really playing around with twisted wires to make all these little bulrushes and sticks and things, and copper foil overlay. I'd never worked with that before. That's just a big sheet of copper. Cut out the shape you want and then build up solder until you get the kind of the shape and texture you're looking for.
It's crazy.
A lot of fun to play around with that.
Just the amount of pieces and work that goes into just one. Like, you see it, but you don't really give it that understanding.
It's true. Exactly right. If you look in here, it's up to me what I'm going to do with these leaves. But a lot of people, I think, would just say, I'm just going to do it in 2 pieces. But I'm not a lot of people. I'm going to
separate each individual little...
Yeah, I see a lot of people use wire. They'll overlay wires, kind of like what I've done on Bigfoot.
Okay.
To get those lines. But I think it looks kind of cheap doing that. I don't know. It's actually, to me, it's more work to cut the little wires and fit them than to just cut more glass.
And the same with the wings, too.
Yeah.
I guess you're going to do tons of different pieces.
Lots of pieces. At least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You know, you can only go so small.
Mm-hmm.
Although in saying that, I have a picture of a piece, and I have 10 pieces of glass coming to the point of a razor blade. And that was really intricate, hard, difficult build. It was an oil rig derrick, and it took a lot of pieces.
Oh, I can imagine.
And patience to get it straight. If you're going to make an oil rig derrick, you want those lines straight.
Yeah. So when you... Because you have to build each individual piece. So you have to take glass, get it, and then you have to put the foils around.
Yeah. So this is cut and fit. Probably 20 hours into this to get it to this point where I can solder it. Cutting, shaping, perfecting every little piece, and then foil wrapping. And then once you have it perfected and you foil wrap it, you're still perfecting and shaping as you go along.
Do you have to do multiple types of wraps if it just doesn't work out?
Yeah, some definitely don't stick right. You get sideways. A lot of things can happen. And another important thing is you can see, if you look close, different texture, widths of glass. So because this is textured, it's like...
It is thicker.
That's almost 4 millimeters, where this is 2 millimeters. So you use a different thickness of foil tape as well, or else you're going to have a weird luck if you don't accomplish for that.
That's crazy.
So then, I mean, right here I can show you how we're cutting. Got some stuff ready to go.
Because it's mind-blowing to me how, even growing up with somebody who does stained glass, like we were talking about last time, it's so intricate.
It is, and of course the way I do it is worse. I make everything so small, you know. But it's the challenge that I love. So what I don't know how much, it makes a lot of noise. Maybe you don't want me doing it. I'm gonna have to use a ring saw to cut these.
Oh, you should be good.
You okay?
Yeah.
So ring saw is a pretty cool tool that it's kind of like a scroll saw for wood that allows you to do really intricate shapes and designs.
Okay.
And this way we can... This is what I'm talking about. This is so skinny, and I'm putting a lot of stress on both sides of this glass.
Okay.
I think most people would just put a line in it and say good enough and relieve that stress by breaking it. But it really takes away from the look I'm going to go for, so I apologize for the noise. It's going to get loud. you look really close when I'm doing it, I'm going on a little bit of this side of that paper. Because if I don't keep it, I want to make it a little smaller than the actual paper, so that I have room for that foil to fit. This is a really risky piece, and if I get it, I'll be ecstatic because there's a good chance this is going to break right now. And that's just part of making glass. You have to learn to accept some breaks. So fragile right there. A lot of people look at me and my shoulders and my fat hands, and they can't even imagine for a second that I can manipulate such fragile pieces. And close enough. We don't, perfection is the game, but because there's going to be a lot of solder going into the gaps and the holes, and I have so many pieces, you don't notice a little imperfection here and there.
Okay.
Certainly not nearly as much as if you were doing a piece with all straight lines and just a few bits and pieces. So now I have my basic shape. I can get rid of this annoying piece of paper that's getting in the way. And I still have to perfect it on this grinder, and this is where we're probably going to break it. But don't put that in the universe, right?
Nope.
Perfect shape to fit in that bit, and just the more perfect I can fit this now, and no sharp indents or little nips and nicks, is gonna help prolong the life.
Okay.
Make sure we don't get a stress break along the way. There's still every chance that when I go to solder this, it's gonna break from heat. I don't really care. It is what it is. I'll just put another piece of foil tape over it. If it does break, you'll never know. You, me, and whoever watches this on TELUS are the only ones that'll ever know. And that's gonna be pretty close. So now I gotta dry it.
It is really time consuming, hey?
It is, yeah.
And
when you look at every piece and the perfection involved, and
how small they are too. So that was wow.
So I have to take quite a bit off that bottom in order to fit that in there.
That is crazy.
And the worst part is I know I'm going to have to do it again still. Once I go foil. It might fit perfect now, but I'll have to risk it again still another time. Every single time you handle it, obviously you risk breaking it.
Mm-hmm.
A big part of everything is water, making sure you keep everything wet. No little silica bits. Silica sand is really, really bad for your lungs. If we didn't have water, we would want to make sure we had a mask. And a lot of people swear you should have a mask doing this anyways.
Fair.
I can't breathe in a mask. So
No, I can imagine, it gets a little difficult when you're ripping around doing things like that.
I'm looking at this, and it's very small. And I can see this little warble in here that I don't like that's causing me grief on the pattern. I have to try and clean it up once more still, and it's probably not going to work. It worked. Oh, man, that's crazy. If we can keep it alive, great. If not, as I say, I can just foil over it. No one will know. So, a little more off the top. Perfection. So, I wasn't a very patient kid. I think most people would say I probably had a lot of ADHD. My old man was a mechanic. I couldn't stand it because you had to focus and be under a truck laying there doing the same thing for hours.
Yeah.
So I think when people who really knew me see me perfecting this and the patience it actually takes. They go, who's this guy? Oh, we're getting there. We're getting there, my friend, but still
awesome.
More. I'm sorry to be a boring video for you,
this
man.
is
what it
what
takes.
goes into being an artist, right?
Yeah. Dean Winkleman at the Legacy Den, he says, artists are beyond reproach. If you want to be a true artist, you have to put aside close enough in your vocabulary. And in saying that, hopefully I can say close enough pretty quick here.
It's a lot of back and forth.
It really is. And this is, it's because I'm doing small letters. They're so intricate. They're always like this. And that's why when people question the cost.
So close. Yeah, I can imagine, yeah. And that's like the thing, right? Something that takes skill shouldn't be cheap.
I know a guy that could do it cheaper. Same old saying.
Yeah.
I know a guy that could do it cheaper. Please get him. And there we are. I still am tight, so it'll have to shave down once more, but that's one piece.
That's crazy. And then the centerpiece you have to do as well.
Yeah.
That's so tiny.
So now I have to shape this one. I've already cut the center for the O's, but I'm gonna have to do the same for both of those little circles.
That is crazy.
Yeah, man, it's painful, but
I can imagine.
You get at this point, and that's when the motivation starts kicking in again. Piece by piece, you start seeing it come together. But another 4 or 5 hours of really hard going, and that'll be put together.
Yeah.
Ready for foil. Then another day to sit down and foil wrap it and get it soldered together, and before you know it, the world's passed you by.
Yeah, but it's such a unique style of artwork that I don't think a lot of people are really doing as much, or at least not picking up anymore.
I think there's a lot of hobbyists that make little trinkets and things.
Yeah, but like to be on the scale that you are, like we were talking last time, like the Bigfoot alone, like that thing that's massive.
Yeah,
like
probably 300 or 400 hours.
Like that's...
Maybe not. I don't know. I lose track, right?
Well, yeah, it gets a little...
10 hours can go by in the blink of an eye and you don't even realize you worked on it that day.
And that's not even like the chairs or
the
other big pieces that you have.
Some of my big ones, some of them have taken 1,000 hours or more for sure.
I can't imagine putting... Well, I guess I have, but I'm not going to admit what I put my 1,000 hours into.
Yeah.
I have definitely put 1,000 hours into stuff, and that's a long time.
Yeah. And I'd say my table and chairs, my Iron Maiden piece is about 9 months. I worked on that every day for 9-10 hours a day, and at least $4,000 or $5,000 in materials by the time it's all said and done.
Yeah, it's
just on a vision,
right? And that's the thing is like, how do you take that from your mind and create it?
Yeah, I had no idea. I'd made a Bigfoot keychain little thing on my ring saw, one piece thing. It was really cool. I made it as a gift. And as I was making it, I was like, I gotta make something bigger for Biggie. and the owl was an afterthought too, actually. My original plan was to have a full moon, but I knew there was no way I was gonna be able to get him in one solid piece without something else going up there. Without that breaking. So that's only 2 pieces of glass.
I was going to ask how many pieces that is.
And then just the fillers. But yeah.
So it's from the left side of the owl and head. Yeah. In between the arms as well?
Those are separate.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So those all had to fit and flow.
Man. And doing exactly what you just did. Watching what you just did to get those tiny... Like, let's try and see if I can get a little perspective. Like, that one is tinier than my fingernail.
Yeah. Some I'll have to sit there with the little knife and cut the foil back to right to the very edge just to have a pinprick of light come through.
Right.
But without that pinprick of light, it's not going to look right.
Yeah, that's another thing I was curious about. It's like, how do you go about choosing which specific types of glass you're going to use for... Because some obviously will be more... what's the word I'm looking for? Translucent, I guess?
Yeah.
Like they will shine more than other ones.
A lot of trial and error, holding it up to the light, looking at the pattern. A lot of times I recut. I'll do a piece. There's 2 in the last year that have cost me hundreds of dollars, where I literally 60 pieces of background glass cut into it, and I don't like it, and it's not going to work for me. And we're talking about an $8,000 or $10,000 piece. I'm not going to cheap out and save $200. I'm just going to start from scratch, and I don't care about the 30 or 40 hours that I'm out.
Yeah.
I want it perfect. So that's happened twice, and both times I'm so grateful that I made the choice. And one I can show you here that I still have. The other one is sitting in someone's house. Just had to be perfect. And I'm not going to second rate anything.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I love about your work, is that you're not willing to sacrifice perfection for time.
Or money.
Or yeah, exactly, right? Where some people may do it just to save themselves a couple bucks or a couple hours, and you're like, yeah, no, I'd rather just throw that, like, for example, that tiny little piece in between the tree branches.
In the grand scheme
versus
of
just
things,
filling
does
it
it really
out.
matter? Well, sure, it matters that we get that flow. And anyway, everything has its discrepancies and imperfections, but I won't show them to you.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing, right? Is you will see your what you consider a mistake, as where other people may see it as like that's what adds to it.
Yeah, for sure.
Kind of like how I feel about albums. Like back in the day, you'd have like Beatles songs where they have things that are out of tune, and you still love the songs.
Yeah,
right?
that's what makes it so unique. Yeah. Well, come and let me show you this other one. This one's one of my favorite pieces here. We'll just I don't know where the wife's put that. There we go, the remote for this guy. So I call this the Sacred Vow. Again, I don't have any clue how many pieces of glass are in that. I found an image I loved. I added flames. I added a bunch of different things to it, and I draw it out in my own version. And it's just kind of like a tribute to undying love. 2 warriors embraced to their last breath, and protecting each other is the last thing they care about.
With the helmet too, and the katanas on the side, and
the helmet was a gift from a good friend. One day I went to his house and he just handed it to me, and he's like, "Hey man, check this out. I want you to have it because I know you'll do something cool with it."
If a friend gave me that, they would be forever the greatest.
So cool. Right? I was blown
so
away.
cool.
And so I had it as the topper of a throne. Before I ever made stained glass, I had a throne that I'd made, and that was the top of it. And I always had a vision to do something different with that. So if we look at this piece with front light, and I'm going to turn that back light off, you're going to get more of an aspect of iridescence if you go side to side with it, and all those plums and purples and greens that are so prominent with backlight, they totally change. I've got dichroics. All this is dichroic glass.
Yeah, that's the one you were mentioning last time, dichroic.
Super expensive
Yeah,
stuff.
you were saying it was so expensive and hard, and almost like hard to get because it comes in little broken pieces.
So I had these 3 little tiny pieces I didn't know what to do with for the longest time, and I was like, oh, I can make her little hairpins out of that.
So that's the dichroic glass.
Yeah,
right
that's
there.
dichroic in there, without super.
Kind of looks like iron.
Yeah.
In some light.
Yeah, absolutely. It brings on that metallic-y kind of look. I wish I had better light for it. And then, so the whole point is to be able to change that look from day to night. It's going to almost look like a totally different portrait. And then we'll end up with an effect of, I'm just going to turn this on off too. You'll be able to see the oranges and the streaks. And then when the red light goes out and we get green and blue light in behind, that's when it goes black and you can't even see those flames. Once you get green and blue, it doesn't penetrate the orange and the red. So by keeping that in mind, I make a lot of neat things that dance around just by putting that light behind it. It makes those flames almost feel like they're actually flickering in a way.
Even when the way you move with the lights.
That's right.
As it moves and you move side to side, everything just changes.
Yeah, super fun that way. So when you ask about picking glass, that's what I'm always thinking about. How can I make it dance? How can I make it change with front light, back light, daylight, nighttime?
Yeah, and that's what's kind of incredible because I would have never thought to put light behind stained glass because the light usually shines through it. But
Yeah. They're beautiful with direct sunlight. It's really something fun, but
the backlight,
I can make it more fun with
yeah, I
colors.
100% think it. I don't want to say it looks better with the light from behind because they look amazing either way. But just getting to see it transition, it's kind of
Changes the whole story in a way.
it does. It also it captivates you and you don't want to stop looking at it.
Yeah, it is. It's mesmerizing.
Like it's almost like when you see YouTube videos of music and they've just got that image that continues to just flow and you're like, oh, I love that. But it's glass and it's right in front of you.
Yeah, you can touch it, but then you got to polish it for me.
Yeah, right, exactly. That's the thing. I can imagine that's a tough part too.
Yeah.
Is trying to keep it pristine.
For sure. So on a big piece like this, I always put a piece of 3mm glass behind it, just a piece of float glass, so that you can actually push on it and it has structure. So you can clean it. You can take a cloth to it. Otherwise, they're kind of flimsy. It's just tiny little beads of solder holding all that stuff together.
Even your chairs, like the thrones and the pieces of wood that you have, like.
Let me plug that one in.
I didn't even see this one last time.
This one I call the Phoenix. And salvaged that off a beach in Salmon Arm off Shuswap Lake. I was injured and I had a really bad neck. And I found it on the beach, but I was too sore to get it back to my truck, so I left it. And then in the summer, a few months went by, with summertime, went back, and there it was. So I grabbed it, brought it home, found all that chain, everything I used to make that, all that rusty iron. I found that all on the same day on the beach or in the mountains.
That is so cool.
And just turn it into a crazy lamp, a Phoenix. Everything was destined to be garbage, and it's rebirthed into a cool little corner lamp.
Yeah, I love what you do, especially what was it, the Murder of Crows? Or
Murder Amongst Friends.
A Murder Amongst Friends. I'm gonna go over that one after.
Out.
It's insane, and just to think that this is how you decorate your house. Where most people would pay. They'd be like, I would give anything to have that. And I was just I got 17,000 pieces and they're all incredible.
We just had some friends come over for the first time the other day and she said, this is the coolest house I've ever seen. That was such a cool compliment.
The front door is definitely, after editing the last episode and really taking some time into it, his front door is
so hard to make. Remember what I was telling you about those stress points? If you really start looking, they're everywhere on this piece of glass. Everywhere you look is another stress point that really, it should have been broken 1,000 times. I use this door 20 times a day.
Yeah. And what I didn't realize until we were speaking last time is this is separate. It's all different.
Everyone, yeah.
And this glass you were mentioning alone, the rain glass, it has to be a certain way.
It has to be cut perfect or else it's going to look all wishy-washy and I can prove it here. I have a piece that I cut wrong right here and they're all kind of going on a little bit of an angle and everything else is straight up and down, but that one panel has those pieces going a little bit sideways. And
you wouldn't even notice that.
To anybody else looking at it, they're not going to see it. To me, it drives me absolutely crazy.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
It's incredible what you do with glass.
Thanks, man.
I can't even, every time I see it, something new or something I've seen already, I see something new in it.
When I open this door, we'll get some iridescence on those flowers and all the green leaves. Hopefully we can get it. And pick it up.
Yeah, right there.
So at night, again, this whole thing changes.
I can imagine it looks amazing from the outside in, too, right? When you're looking at it.
In the dark.
From outside.
Really is fun, for sure.
That's...
Yeah, man.
There you go. There's a great shot of it. It's so cool to see what you've created.
Thanks.
And then here's the Murder
Amongst Friends. Yeah, so this is, I call it a living storybook. But I also wrote a little storybook that goes with it. I just wanted people to have a little bit of a glimpse into my nutcase mind. And it goes right from the day I found the wood down here on the beach. When I was cleaning it up, I discovered that it has 7 different rocks that it has grown around. And so...
So they're stuck in there. Like, when
Yeah.
you found it, you actually had to...
Yeah, this was covered in moss and leaves. I didn't even know that big rock was there until I started slugging it home and realized why it was so heavy.
That's so funny.
But there's a bunch of them all on the backside. And so in the book, I've called them... everyone has a name. And so it's Sigmund the Sycamore and the rocks that never roll. And they've spent a lifetime together. A tree and rocks, and
so stunning.
It would have just ended up in a fire pit or rotting away.
Wow.
Instead, we turned it into a fun little story. For instance, Calvin the calamitous crow. He figures he's gonna get Barry the baby blue beetle for a snack, but Gary the great green decided otherwise, and it's letting Calvin know that it's not gonna happen today. So although there was almost a murder right here, it didn't happen.
That's so funny.
And it's kind of the theme. There's a bunch of little stories that go, there's almost a murder all the way along, but it just doesn't happen today.
That's so funny.
So the only murder is the friends, the bunch of crows that are hanging out together.
The chameleon is incredible.
Carlos, the creeping chameleon, we call him. A lot of people say, why does he have 3 legs? Because he was supposed to be straddling that stick, but it just didn't work.
I never included that.
And I know it's a little embarrassing. Carlos lost a leg.
It happens.
Yeah, he's tough, resilient. So I use jewels in all the eyes. They all have a different faceted jewel, so they all have a little twinkle in them.
Yeah, I love
All
that.
different colors. Super fun. And again, this cement base, I was looking for just the right thing. I went to the plant store, and she says, well, this thing's $180, but it's broken. Once I told her what I was going to do, she says, give me $20 and take it.
Oh, wow.
Otherwise, it's probably going to the landfill at some point anyways, and I can bring it back to life and do something useful with it.
The chairs and so much glass in the house. Like, you can't even begin to describe how incredible they are.
Thanks, man.
There's only a handful of logos I have to try to avoid, and they're all on the seats.
We can edit.
Yeah.
I did buy the patterns for what it's worth.
These I love the Iron Maiden ones. I'll always love that. And to sit on them, they're so solid and
solid
sturdy.
And comfortable. I've used it every day for 3 years, and there's not a creak in it wood.
Yeah, and then getting to eat dinner on a giant light up table.
The beast.
So cool. That is definitely one of my favorite ones up here, this one that you have done.
Yeah, but first thing must catch you. I call that quick enough with a question mark. Leave it up to the person looking at its discretion whether the bunny gets away or not. That's Miki Hackart from Art of Maquenda. She's given me license to make anything I want of hers, basically. And after making a few different pieces of hers for other people, I decided I wanted one of my own. That one's the one that really resonates with me, and just love the idea of leaving the question up to whoever's looking at it. Is it Republic or who's gonna win here? But in my mind, the bunny gets away, just for what it's worth. If you look inside the mouth, you can see texturing. This is what I talk about, picking textures. I really wanted that to look like it's in motion. So by picking just the right piece of glass to get those lines and textures it actually looks like it's motion. There's something happening there with his mouth opening. And at the same time, that rabbit's feet are hitting the ground. Before the wolf snaps his mouth, I think that rabbit's got the drop on him.
And when you get this angle right here, you really see that iridescent come out on the pieces underneath the rabbit.
Yeah, and so that's one that I had to change the border of. I had cut that border with an extremely $35 a square foot glass, trying to stay true to her original, which is all black and white scale. With the only color in the original is the gold sun.
Oh, okay.
And I told her when I just asked her if I can make it, I told her I was have to add some color to it, to bring my flair to it, and she said, of course. So I give the little bunny a bright red eye, and then 2 blue eyes. Miki and I both have blue eyes, so I kind of used our eyeballs as models for the bunny's eyes. And it's from Watership Down. The book Watership Down was her original inspiration, and there's a quote in that book that says, "And when they catch you, my prince, they most certainly will kill you. But first, they must catch you." And I just love it so much, it just really resonates. So, had to have it. And I just never get bored of it at night. We turn it on and watch it cycle through, and
yeah, it
never gets tired.
It's really incredible to see what your mind produces in a sense of what you can do with glass.
Thanks, man.
Because
I don't know where. It's the same old story. A lot of artists tell you the same thing. It just popped in one day, and I always knew how to cut glass. Again, that's my job. I've spent most of my adult life working with glass, but all of a sudden one day I just figured out how to. And I did have a great friend, Caitlin Hunter, her name is. She's the one that made Christine, my wife, a piece originally as a gift. And then when she was going to make me one, I said, I love the idea, but it would be a way better gift to show me how to do it. And she took me into her studio, and the rest is history, I guess.
Yeah, to come back from a glazing perspective and then turn it into an art and a craft that you do constantly.
Yeah.
Is probably one of the most inspiring things.
Now it's half my time for sure. I spend half my time in my studio and half my time putting in windshields.
Right? And that's incredible, because even if you can make any time where that is what you're doing with your life, that's kind of magic.
Find a way to sell it to other people, and then I can make some room on my walls.
Yeah, that's the thing too. I think that's what we were talking last time, is the glass aspect is so difficult because how do you move it?
Yeah.
Right?
I could ship it to Europe, but it's going to cost. I'm going to show you my coffee table here. This is I got a thing I got to get off of there. So this was...
Oh, wow.
This was...
I didn't even realize that last time.
That was an oil painting that a friend of mine was sick with cancer and doing a fundraiser, and this was one of the silent auctions. I didn't have much money, but I tried and was trying hard to get this as the print, and I didn't get it. So they felt bad for me, knowing how badly I wanted it. They sent me a copy of it in the mail, and I asked if I would be able to reproduce it, because it was a friend of theirs who did the original art. They looked into it. Yeah, you can. And so I made this table with it, and I call it a puzzle table because all those squares can be interchanged. And you can actually sit here and...
Oh, what? You can lift them up?
Yeah, I can take that top panel off, and we can change those around and play around, make it a puzzle. And, I spend a lot of time building it and looking at it, and it still screws me up trying to put it together as
properly.
A puzzle.
Yeah.
It's frustrating.
That's crazy. How long did that take?
Honestly, it was so long ago now. I made it probably 6 years ago. I would say 2 or 3 months, but I was quite green at the time too. So to redo that now, I could do a much nicer job and a much quicker time for sure. But that's the beauty of it. I don't ever want to change something I've already done. Just make it better next time.
Yeah, and that's kind of the thing too, right? Like we were talking yesterday or 2 days ago with Soltech Audio, and they were mentioning that it's once something is out there, like let it be.
Yeah.
You can't take it back.
No.
And
just
it's
improve if you want to improve.
Yeah, and that's kind of you get to see everything that you've worked on. You know what I mean?
That's a pretty special piece. That the wife begged me to make that for a very long time for her.
I remember you saying that.
Rainbow Dreams. And she bought all the glass. Then she decided she didn't want to make it and forced me to make it for her, which is fine. That's part of my job. Funny. Here's one of my rolling trays.
Yeah, I love these. These are absolutely incredible.
This is, sorry about the mess, but they all come with a certificate of authenticity, which that's for a different one. But I got a few around here. Certificates.
I love how intricate each one is too.
Yeah.
Like from the woodwork.
That's kind of my favorite part. Once I make glass and I get to turn it into something other than glass, and it's a more of a useful, functional piece of art, that's where I take a lot more joy in the woodwork and turn it into something that nobody's ever really dreamed of.
You definitely love using the punk rock metal spikes.
It's been my trademark for kind of even before I made stained glass. I was making these trays for friends with and always upholstery tags. I bought every fabric blend from here to Vancouver out as often as I could, and
that's crazy.
Now that's basically online all the time. It's the only place I can find them.
It's absolutely incredible how many different avenues there are, because even when at the front of your house is one of my favorite things. This is how I found.
Yeah.
That's how I knew.
Yeah.
That I was in the right spot.
Keep it classy. We have a big bright sign out on the highway, an advertising sign, and by strategically locating those panels on my deck, I have been able to block out the bright light of the sign at night.
It's absolutely incredible.
Still trying to find a way to get some lighting to this thing to spruce it up.
The tree?
Yeah.
I think it's one of those ones where you almost don't need lights.
Yeah. Maybe I thought just around the base, just 3 little pot lights to just kind of illuminate the whole thing a little bit.
That would look cool.
Might look good.
Oh, hell yeah. That would look awesome.
So we're working on that.
It's insane how many pieces.
I can't remember, but because they're all opaque, you don't really appreciate the complexity of those birds.
No, that's why I kind of just saw the shine and I was like, wow.
And the texture makes it kind of deceiving. So one of the other neat things about this piece is it's extremely heavy and awkward, obviously. So I've built the entire thing to be able to be dismantled that easily. Everything pops off with the exception of Carlos the creeper. And then it can just be transported, moved around, whatever we need to do. Maybe we take it to a gallery one day or something. Anyway.
That's incredible.
Super fun.
Is there any other pieces you'd like to show us?
No. Not here. I got a few things out and about that I'd love to show, but I think that's about it, my friend.
I love Carlos.
He's pretty cool.
Yeah, he's definitely got some really cool like shine to him.
The 3-legged creeper. Yeah, he's fully iridescent too. That guy, everything on him is iridescent.
That's awesome. Oh, that is absolutely incredible. Getting all the
let's go get some light behind this guy. I'll show you. This is my favorite piece of glass. It's too bad we don't have bright light. Right here, it's got so many different hues of blues and greens and reds and oranges. When the bright light gets in there, it's really special, that one. Seventh Sun.
I love the one in the chest.
Yeah, the apple.
Green one, yeah.
Carefully selected as well, for sure.
Holy. You get the right shine on that and it looks amazing.
And so on the album cover, it's icy water with icebergs below and then blue sky above. I had to really make sure I used all the right textures and colors. Hard to find.
I can imagine. And just the sheer scale of this piece. The wood and everything about it is
drawn up on a napkin.
Right. Yeah, that's so cool. It's crazy what the mind can think of.
And these candle holders are hot sauce bottles. Oh. I got them at a Canadian Tire store at Christmas time. Terrible hot sauce. I used it as weed killer.
That's so funny. Absolutely amazing work.
Thanks, man.
If you guys are looking to learn how to do it, he is the guy to go to.
Absolutely. Give me a shout.
And my favorite thing is, like, as a metalhead and somebody who appreciates, like, heavy metal culture, I love that that's kind of, like, where your theme is, too.
Yeah.
That's where most people, like, I think we said last time, there's a lot of people who are, like, perfectionists and purists of what glass should be.
Yeah.
And to push the boundaries, I think is kind of
Yeah, if it's not tulips
Amazing.
and roses, it's hard to find people that are interested in it. It seems like hummingbirds and butterflies. Well, I make a lot of them.
Right.
But I really want to make mid.
And that's the thing. I think that we were saying last time, like, I wish that we could get it to the guys in the band so that they could see it too. Because, like, man, I think that they would absolutely love to have their own.
Yeah, I think so, eh?
Not these ones, though. These are yours.
Yeah, absolutely. No, they're not really for sale. I think a member of the band would be able to get me to part with them, but that would probably be about it, you know.
This has to be probably one of my favorite aspects of this, is these 3 pieces right here. When you're moving. Glass is so incredible. It captivates me in so many ways, that it's from creation to what you can do with it.
Yeah.
It's
And the different ways you
mind-blowing.
can, I'm just the tip of the iceberg doing what I do. Once you get into fusing and hot shops and blowing, man, there's so much you can do.
Glass blowing, yeah, that's a whole other level. Have you ever attempted to glass blow?
No, no. Like, I'm sweating just being in here. I couldn't do a hot shop, man. It's interesting to me for sure, but not what I'm interested in. I don't think. No.
Fair enough.
Blowing, definitely. I wouldn't mind getting into torch work. You know, you can do some intricate, neat things just using torches, and one day maybe. I got my hands full right now.
I didn't even look at the bees.
The bees, that's the Bruce Lee Bumblebee family. Bruce Lee, Bonnie Lee, Billy Bob Lee, Bonnie Sue Lee. And Carlos is trying to get them.
Oh, that's what
the
Carlos
story.
is
Carlos
trying to get
them. But then Bruce Lee Bumblebee comes down here with his wings of fury and distracts him long enough for the family to get away. So that, in fact, Carlos was trying to create a little murder there, but it doesn't happen today because Bruce Lee's got him.
That is awesome. I love how your mind works. It's incredible.
It scares me, but
It scares me.
I don't know, man.
Well, how are we going to do this? We're on a weird angle this time. I want to thank you for doing this. This has been absolutely incredible.
Yeah, thank you.
Zoom out a little bit.
Yeah.
There we go. Thank you again.
My pleasure,
It's been
man.
incredible.
Thank you
for having me.
Fun to show you off.
This has been an absolutely incredible experience and an amazing episode.
Man. Thanks, man.
If you guys want to be part of the show and be a guest on the next episode, there will be a QR code somewhere along the bottom of the episode that you can click, and we will be in contact with you. Once again, Mike, thank you so much.
My pleasure, Rob.
This has been On Location, StoryHive On Location, Penticton. I'm Robb O'Day.